This podcast is rated R for restricted. Under 17 requires accompanying parent or adult guardian. Mission 250.
Anywho, you guys ready to talk about movies again?
Let's talk about this movie.
Yeah, you want to talk about this movie?
Yeah.
Let's go.
What movie are we watching?
I'm recording.
What movie is this?
Yeah, the title has nothing to do with the movie.
Oh, but it does, John. Oh, but it does.
I did not. Now, I may have fallen asleep.
I was going to ask, they don't really, I don't think they say it in the movie,
asleep.
but I want to, John, God damn it.
Come on.
I was medicated. I had
What?
I had a procedure done. I'm an old man. I had to have my colonoscopy done.
Boy.
They've lowered
That
the age to 45.
Yep,
for when you should do it.
Shit.
It really, I mean, it was no big deal at all. But they give you this cocktail of what's it? Versed and
Was it fun at least? Is it a fun little cocktail?
You don't notice. Yeah, I just went to sleep. No big deal. And or just like you don't even really technically go to sleep, but you just sort of
You don't remember anything?
It's like when you get your eyelids or your eyes like worked on, right? Like you're awake but you don't feel it.
Right. Or it was, to me, it was just like kind of going to sleep, like taking a nap, but not meaning to take a nap. And then.
So it's like getting your teeth pulled if you get the gas sort of thing.
Yeah, but no pain or anything afterwards, too. There's the good thing about that. There's no pain at all or anything or any like, something bad happened to me. Yeah. But apparently they didn't have to, everything was fine. But, so. But yeah,
nice.
So I was like,
congrats, John. Congrats on the clean health bill there. Nice.
Yeah.
Good job.
I mean,
everybody should do it.
Yep. That's right.
You should do it when it comes your time.
Ours is coming.
Yeah, and it's no big deal. The hard thing is, you have to like fast for a day.
Yeah.
And you have to be like on a clear liquid diet, and then you have to drink this stuff that cleans you out, like the night before.
This is a great way to start a podcast. This is real good.
Hey, this is nothing to be ashamed of.
We don't have to.
This
is real life.
You can edit it all out if you want. I don't care.
This is real life.
What? I never edit anything out, John. When you're talking about yourself in disgusting ways. Come on.
I know you don't. That's what's awful. Anyway, so
dug your own grave here.
Anyway, so that's my excuse. I thought I should at least give it for why I probably zoned out while watching it.
Well, that's a shame. Anyway, we're watching Licorice Pizza. This movie came out last year? Yeah, 2021.
Did they mention Licorice Pizza in the film and I was asleep?
No, but Licorice Pizza means...
Licorice or pizza?
So Licorice Pizza is...
Either...
Do you want to know what it means? I can tell you.
No, I know what it means, and I've heard the anecdote.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying, at any point in the movie, did they say the word licorice or pizza?
I'm going to interrupt you, John. I don't know what it means.
I don't think so.
What
does
it mean?
LP, Licorice Pizza, long player. It's a record thing, and also the record texture looks like licorice, and the shape is like a pizza.
Oh,
so it's a record.
Really?
And then they're also...
I thought I said it was just like two strange things from their past that just don't go together.
No, it's a record, and it used to be a record store, and the record store chain got bought out by Sam Goody at some point in time.
But they didn't even have that record store in the film.
No, but they had old music that would have been on records, and it was made in a time where
they have any
records.
LPs? Did they show records? Did they?
No, not really. I mean, I don't know.
Anyway,
I think
it was when you were asleep. I think it was when you were asleep.
Okay, I could have been asleep, and all these things could have happened.
Yeah. All right. So on all that random ass notes, John, I believe it's my. I'm lucky enough to go first.
Nice.
I would want to start with I don't know. Paul Thomas Anderson is probably one of my favorite directors ever. He's made probably one of my favorite movies
your favorite
of all
film
time.
Is There Will Be Blood, right?
It could be my favorite movie. It could be.
Yeah, I thought DDL was excellent in this one too.
He played Herman Munster.
He went to high school again, and he's the 15-year-old. You wouldn't believe it. Couldn't even imagine that was him. He's amazing.
He was himself playing Philip Seymour Hoffman's kid, playing another kid in a movie, fictional kid.
Dude is so method. It's crazy.
But so Paul Thomas Anderson. All right. So let me give you a rundown here. Since this is a new movie, there's not too much trivia, so I figured I'd do this. And since Paul Thomas Anderson only has one movie on the list, which is stupid, it's There Will Be Blood. But his first movie was Hard 8, which is I've seen. It's not too memorable. I remember liking it, but I haven't rewatched it. I don't know.
Was it like a heist or a crime thriller?
It's like a gambling movie.
Gambling thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, some crime gambling thing.
And it had like Philip Seymour Hoffman and John C. Reilly and Gwyneth Paltrow, Samuel L. Jackson. Some pretty good people in it, but I don't remember it being too memorable. So there's that one. But then his second movie was Boogie Nights, which I've seen so many times. I think that's the first time I ever saw Philip Seymour Hoffman in a movie.
We should do that one. We should maybe do that
we
one.
Could. So this is what I'm getting at, because there's some movies on here.
Plan, John. You didn't think this was planned?
Because there are. He has. So this run here.
I've been led to the trap.
You've been hook, line, and sinker.
Here we go.
Okay.
Boogie Nights, 97. Best Mark Wahlberg performance of his career. Magnolia, 99. Best Tom Cruise performance of his career. Punch Drunk Love, 2002. Best Adam Sandler performance of his career.
That's true.
And then you have There Will Be Blood, best Daniel Day-Lewis performance. The best actor ever, his best performance.
Ooh.
I think it might be the director. Then you have The Master, which has Philip Seymour Hoffman and possibly Joaquin Phoenix best performances in there. And then you have,
odd as that movie is.
And then you have kind of a slow decline where you have Inherent Vice, which was pretty good, but not great. I don't know if you guys have seen that or what your thoughts are on that movie.
I know. I tried to read the book and I didn't think it was a great book. It's a Pinchon book and it wasn't that
It's
great.
okay. It's kind of meandering, but it's okay.
If the book was like that.
But then you have this movie that came out that was PTA, Paul Thomas Anderson, and it has Daniel Day-Lewis in his last role,
of course,
called Phantom Thread. And it's probably the most disappointing movie I've ever seen in my entire life.
Really? Because he went and studied fashion for 2 years. He did this whole DDL thing.
Yeah.
And it was bad, huh?
I don't, so it got like Best Picture nominations. It looks really good. But
which one was this again?
Phantom Thread.
It was Daniel Day-Lewis's last.
So Daniel Day-Lewis plays a clothing designer back in like a long time ago. I forget exactly what year. It's like 100 years ago or something.
And studied dressmaking and learned how to make dresses.
Yep.
What a waste of budget that was.
Dude, it was so boring. Like it was incredibly boring. And I went in being like, all right, this one might be a little different because the trailer looks a lot different from the rest of them. But so that was his last movie, right? So all that being said, I don't know where he was going into this movie. And this was Phantom Thread came out 5 years ago at this point. So that's kind of a long pause there.
And Licorice Pizza didn't get anything in the Oscars, did it?
No, it did. It got best director. So PTA got
did it? It got best director.
It got best screenplay and what was the other one? And best picture.
Attention.
Yeah,
it did. Well, no, nomination. It didn't win.
Didn't win. Sorry, no,
it didn't win anything
in
the Oscars. As I meant. No, I know it got nominated, but it didn't win anything.
Right. Correct.
Okay.
So Paul Thomas Anderson was on all three: best motion picture, best directing, and best original screenplay. Were his three nominations this year for this one. Yep. So with all that being said, I didn't know how going into this movie. I think I might love this movie.
I love this movie.
Yes,
I'm so glad you said that.
And I knew you were going to TC because this movie reminds me so much of like The Big Lebowski. Like that was the thing.
Or like a Rush, even like a Wes Anderson flick.
Wes Anderson there too. It kind of reminded me of like a good version of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yeah, you know,
okay.
Even like there's even the equivalent
that
scene.
Little bit.
Yeah,
I could see it.
I was laughing throughout the movie.
I was dying. Sometimes
I thought it was hilarious.
You were zonked, John.
Yeah,
I was drugged.
Watch it again, John. I plan on watching this one a lot.
I tried to watch it again. I started it and I was like, I don't know. But anyway,
watch it again.
Watch it with energy. Watch it, I guess, in a good mood. I don't know what it was. Yeah, I didn't expect a comedy.
Did you watch it with Nikki?
No.
You got to watch it with Nikki. Come on, it's a love story.
Yeah. Oh, I know. He was running, she was running, they were running together.
I loved it. I loved it.
Yep. I was hook, line, and sinker. I was like, turn up sometimes.
Wow.
I was like, wow. I was like, they're nailing the idea of just like love at first sight type shit.
Agreed.
Like,
wow.
You know, like even just for the movie's sake, not real life, but like on movies, like they just nailed it. You know?
Right. Because the movie is about movies and it has like real actors in it. And they do like the old time tropes, like the last shot where they run at each other is like kind of cliche. But the way they did it, like I was so happy the way it ended.
I liked that they used it all to like correlate to the fact that they're coming together for real.
Yeah.
Finally, after the whole movie. I mean, honestly, my mother watched it and she was like, it's the only movie that I think as soon as I finished it, I would have watched it right again.
Agreed.
Oh, nice.
I 100% agree with that. It was like one of the only ones in recent memory where I was like, I'm going to buy this and watch this multiple times.
Yeah. And the thing is I think it's because there is so much going on. There's no lull. It goes from thing to thing to thing to thing. And
randomly, one might think.
Yes, but it doesn't matter, John, because the mood of it and the acting is the through line. The period.
Plus, really, it was still kind of linear because they were trying to go periods of time. And
this movie could have been called Waterbeds and Pedophiles. Like,
well,
that could have been the title of the
whatever.
movie.
It's like, It just seemed like the characters also would seem to do random things.
Like, I'm all for it. If I was 15, I would have been all over it.
Yeah.
Come on.
And dude, I think that the scene where they're in the moving van in the LA Hills and Bradley Cooper plays the fucking crazy ass actor.
I thought he was kind of funny.
Bradley Cooper was a standout. I thought. I thought he was pretty amazing.
Where she was driving down the hill with like the car wasn't working. That was the entire scene was just as soon as it was over, I was like, Jesus Christ! I was not expecting anything like that in this movie. I just
really liked that the reason why they started really liking each other is because they were starting to go through things together. And that's like that moment, right? Like
that's like,
you know, and like that's what bonded them longer.
Well, that's
term,
that's what makes friendships and other things. I mean, that's that's how you get close to people is you go through stuff with them, right?
Yeah,
you know, that more than anything, I think.
But there were things that like normally a 15-year-old wouldn't do.
Right?
No, he was definitely
he was not your average 15-year-old.
Right. No, he was not
child star.
Right. Like the guy was. I thought it was
I did like how he was not. I liked how he was not good looking. You know, he was not like this conventionally good looking. You're right. All of them.
I hate to say
actually,
this,
no.
It's the truth. No, they're not really like unbelievably drop dead.
Right.
Gorgeous.
No, you're right. Yeah. They're all not like Hollywood actor looking people.
And they're not Hollywood.
They're all very charismatic. All the same. They're all very likable.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was awesome.
He was an interesting character. And he was not like traditionally handsome, and that's cool.
He also wasn't obnoxious either. No. Even like in some of the moments where I thought I was going to be annoyed, like where they had the slow thing and it was like, "Hey, gorgeous."
Right. No, he was.
Like, this is kind of lame, but then I was like, that actually really turned out to be really good. As that scene went on, and then the fucking cops showed up, it was like, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
I really liked this one.
We haven't even talked about
a bunch of people to watch.
So I think the best like Paul Thomas Anderson movies, all we're talking about is like the plot and the acting so far and like the casting. But the way it looks, like just the end of that like car chase scene, there's the shot like during dawn where you just like half the screen is black and the top half is blue and you just see a silhouette of two people jumping around a van in the middle of the street. Mm-hmm. Like every shot in this movie just could carry me along. Like it was that good looking. If there was nothing else interesting going on, that would have been enough. But then you have like Johnny Greenwood soundtrack. You have the classical music soundtrack of music that I love. I mean, you put Bowie in a movie, you put Doors in the movie. Yeah.
The elevator music that they had in there.
Yeah, occasionally. The style, like everyone looked cool. The way they did the colors for the style looked really good on camera. There was barely any part of the movie where I wasn't just like, Jesus Christ, this is really well put together. I'm laughing a lot. It is extremely entertaining. I don't care that it's kind of about inappropriate relationship between a 25 and 15-year-old, which is strange. You'd think that would bug you, but if it
was reversed, for sure, it would have caused.
If it was reversed, it wouldn't have been a movie.
Right?
That's true,
right?
It wouldn't have been a movie.
Doesn't seem fair.
Yeah,
no,
but that's the world.
Yeah. That's just how it is.
Yeah,
we're gonna move on from that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before I get fired up.
But the thing is, I agree, John. But the movie, and it has it in there, but it didn't bug me for a second.
But you know why though? Because the fucking relationship was innocent in how they actually drew to each other.
Right. You didn't feel like one was like taking advantage of the other or anything like that. And he could have been. You could have had the roles of gender reversed, and it would have created controversy. But it really is more about.
Well, he thought about roping her when she was passed out, so that was something, and then she flashed him. So I mean, there is some fucked up stuff in here, but it's like
right. But
it's the way they do it.
It wasn't the whole relationship. It wasn't like the person was involved only to have sex. I mean, the kid was 15. He's 15, right. Like, and he's a dude. He's gonna be like that. He's 15. So, and then she was never in her head. I think she really just did like his, companionship. And it was over the time of going through all these things and then him running and after she fell off the bike. I mean, that was it. And it was like, those were like normal things that people do when they like each other. Right. Like, so it didn't like start because one was trying to go after another to like groom and, have sex with. So that's why I was okay with it. As far as like, I didn't even think about it anymore. At a certain point in the movie, I just kind of forgot their age.
Yep.
Because they seemed so like mentally at the same place.
Same.
So it didn't.
I'm not even sure why they had to make them such a difference. Why couldn't she have been in high school? Like, why not?
Yeah.
Almost true but she wouldn't have been able to be the chaperone if that was the case.
Yeah, but that's not necessary as a plot point, is it?
Yeah, because all their journey started after that fucking plane ride to that first, like their whole journey started there.
Yeah. That's true.
Because like she was out watching him on stage. She was there because like they had gone through that trip together only because she was the chaperone.
They could have made him 16 though, or something.
They could have made him senior year. Yeah.
I don't know.
But then there was that part about the fact that they were looking for a 16-year-old, but they could have made that kid 17. So I see what you're saying, right? Like
the only reason
push the numbers closer. for us.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Make us not think about it movie. Come on.
Yeah. Unless that's what they were trying to do. Maybe they were trying to make you think about it so that when they actually finally got to the same mental like level, it no longer mattered.
Yeah, but it does matter. If the whole point of the movie is like the legal age shouldn't be abided by, that's not a good moral of the movie.
I don't think that was.
I don't think so either.
I know
but
that's
like,
what you mean. I know what you're saying. I know you're right.
Yeah, it's just strange.
Rationalize it because I like the movie so much.
Yes,
that
I agree 100%. I just pushed it to the back because I'm like, I'm not going to like it as much if I have to think about this. So I'm just not going to think about it and enjoy the hell out of this movie.
If you start putting societal constructs into it, you're like, fuck, I can't even enjoy this.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Yeah. Anyway.
I also thought the only other part that I was like on the fence about, even though I did laugh at it, was the restaurant owner, like the white guy that owned the Japanese restaurant.
I was dying. I'm sorry. I was laughing.
There was
pretty hard
around that one.
But like, Jesus Christ, what are you doing putting that in the movie? Oh my God,
that was so funny. I thought that was so funny. Because it's supposed to be 1978 when fucking white guys were coming back from Korea and all those other, Pacific Island countries, and they were fucking having new wives.
It was pretty damn funny, but holy
I thought
shit.
that was hilarious.
They said it was, it just got criticized. Like the Media Action Network for Asian Americans just said it was cringeworthy and don't advance the plot in any way and are included simply for cheap laughs.
Oh yeah, it's a comedy though. A lot of the stuff in this movie is for cheap laughs. I think, like a lot of the interaction
like the gas
scenes.
tank thing with the fucking
right
silhouette. I was laughing hysterically when that happened. I'm sorry, and I saw it in the trailer and I knew it was coming, and I still laughed at it. So there were so many parts, but yeah, that Asian thing was. I can't wait till my boss sees that. I told her to watch it. She's gonna die laughing.
All like the Haim interactions with her family. That's her real family, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
her
I noticed
real parents, her real
credits.
sisters.
Those were that's pretty cool.
That was all.
It was like, excuse me, what the fuck?
Yeah. And that was improv. That line was improv.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh wow,
so
that was fucking
Paul
great.
Thomas Anderson, his elementary school art teacher was the mother of the Haim sisters. So he had a crush on the mother of the Haim sisters when he was a child. And that's what half this movie is about. Like that's where half this movie comes from, is his crush on, well, I guess the third. So there's that relationship there. The other third is that he was walking by a school during a photo shoot one day and he saw like a teenage boy hitting on the photographer that was much older. And he just like, struck him as funny and he thought maybe I could use that as a plot, something to write a story about sometime. But then the majority of it is this guy named Gary Goetzman. Goetzman. I don't know how to pronounce that. Real guy. He was a movie star. He was a child actor. All the stuff about like child acting,
right? This is what
the waterbed stuff,
right?
And the pinball stuff was all true, and his like childhood friend's true story.
Oh wow!
And you can look this guy up. This guy has an IMDb page. He's been in stuff. So
he's so funny.
Yeah.
They're like, because when I was watching it, I was telling my mom, like, can you believe in California people do exist? Like,
this movie made me jealous. Sometimes when I watch movies about like the industry, it's just like, oh, it's a bunch of stuck up snobs who think they're awesome. But then sometimes it's like this. It's like, man, LA weather looks fucking awesome. And some of like the houses
around.
Yeah. And the houses look really cool. And people dress nice. A lot of the style is like original and like unique to LA. And
it's a strange place though. So
it's one of those LA movies that made me like LA more.
It's one of the, and it was totally one of those quintessential California, like, everything about it would only happen in California. It ain't happening in Worcester, Massachusetts.
No.
Right.
And not anywhere, like only in LA, really, because it doesn't, like this shit doesn't happen up here. There's no movie industry up here. There's no famous people up here.
Right. I mean, in New York, it might be Broadway and theater, but it's not like acting for the screen. So it's a totally different vibe. But yeah, you're right. I know. I thought everything about that story was like annoyingly interesting. Like, oh man, there's more to it. Like, what do they really do that? Like, I was thinking the whole time, like they really traveled like that. And like, man, that would be so cool at like 15 to be a fucking rich for one, and two, to be like walking around, people know you. Like that would be the best time at that age to be like that.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's acceptable to enjoy it. But when you're an adult, you're just a narcissist. But
you can mess up when you're a kid and it probably won't end you.
Right. And like you do something stupid as a kid, they're like, oh, he's funny. He's 15.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But now it's like, no, we can't watch these movies anymore. Shit.
Yeah. Right. I know.
Anyway, I liked all the people popping up. I didn't watch the trailer for a while before watching this. I don't know who they show, but like Tom Waits popped up. I'm like, holy shit, it's Tom Waits. You got Sean Penn popping out of nowhere. You got like Maya Rudolph coming out, and apparently she's married to Paul Thomas Anderson. And apparently all of Paul Thomas Anderson's kids are in this movie too, as extras, all in the background. And then Bradley Cooper definitely stole the show. He was funny. I was laughing at him, but then at the end, I was like, he made me scared and felt pretty sad for him. And that scene of him just going nuts on the streets, you could tell that like I don't know, it had a lot of like interesting things to say about Hollywood in general. Like some of it was positive, some of it was negative. It all seemed, I mean, overall, I think it seemed positive, but they didn't kind of shy away from the ugly stuff that exists there too, because that seems like a part of it. It just seemed like a really cohesive picture of the area. The movie just seemed to be about LA, really. Like it has these two main characters as kind of the center, but it seemed more like it was just about LA during this period of time. So I didn't mind that the story went all over the place.
My mom put it as these were the end of the innocent days, where like you could just like do things out.
Innocent days, where 15-year-olds would be all by themselves in clubs.
And they would just do whatever they want. They would walk around and do stupid shit and like not fucking be worried about, getting mowed down by some crazy dude with a gun or, like there wasn't like all this like, nobody was as scared as they are now about like life, right? Like you could just let people do shit, including the kids. And because my mom was like reminiscent about some of it, being like, oh, I remember those days. Like, oh, those are fun times, right? Like, and I don't know if I'm going to say that about my 20s. I'd be like, God, those were all right. I had more fun in my 40s, like, so it's like, I think kids did have a lot more freedom to do shit back then, where like they would just leave the house and go fuck around for the day. And like, no one would give a shit.
I used to be able to do that, but I grew up in like rural Massachusetts, so that's different than Worcester, I guess. Maybe it's just a Worcester thing. You don't want to I don't think Worcester's ever been nice enough where you can just let kids run around.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I didn't grow up in Worcester though. I grew up.
I'd love to see a 70s Worcester and what that was like. I'd be kind of interested.
Same, John.
It would be exactly the same.
It would be
just different fashion.
Right.
Slightly better paint jobs on the house. That's it.
Yeah. You just see a bunch of contractors going to work. That's the movie. Yeah, right. What do you need, boss? They're
drinking PBR in the 2020s. They're drinking PBR back in the 70s. They got the
suitcase. They brought their suitcase in the back, and they're ready for work. Yeah, exactly. No
one's doing a period piece in Worcester. They should, because it would be cheap for set dressings.
No, the only people in Worcester are fucking Liam Neeson, because he's just bad at acting, So they went cheap on the budget. And
does he live in Worcester? Is that what you're saying?
No, that last movie that he did with I forget what it was called, but it was in Worcester. Came out maybe a year ago. I forget what it was, but it was all shot in Worcester. So I was watching it, and I started noticing like they had cut. I think I've talked about this. They had cut together St. V's, the hospital, and then DCU Center into one shot when they were driving.
Blacklight?
No, I don't think so.
The Ice Road?
Came out. No, before that.
Honest Thief, Made in Italy.
Yep.
Honest Thief?
No, is that it? No, is it Honest Thief?
Made in Italy, Ordinary Love.
Oh, maybe it is Honest Thief, but they shot some things in Worcester. Yeah, here are all the Worcester locations in Liam Neeson's Honest Thief. So, like they had a bunch of shit where they were cutting together things that I recognized, and I knew they were on different roads. But like when it cut together, you didn't notice it because it's like there's only so much city that you can shoot, right? So like when they were in car chase scenes in Worcester, they don't have too many roads where like you can fly down and actually be safe. So they had to cut together the one long road, and use both sides in one shot.
Movie magic, dude.
Yeah, it was great.
I'm watching the trailer right now. I recognize.
Yeah. So, anyways, but yeah, there's no one shooting a movie in Worcester for 1978 and it being good. Sorry. Maybe in the 90s they could have filmed it because that's when grunge rock was running through Worcester. Which was a thing.
Oh, in Worcester? Wow.
Yeah.
The scene, dude. Worcester grunge.
My just as a note here for you, Denny, my Logic just pooped out.
What's going on?
I don't know, but I've been quiet for a while, so it doesn't matter. But I'm going to have 2 clips for you.
Oh, at least you have the first clip.
Just letting you know where the second.
It's going to be all sliced up like a licorice pizza.
Oh, isn't that cute?
Oh, look at that.
Nice.
What was your favorite part, Denny?
The van scene, like at the end of the van scene, like my mouth was literally, I don't know why I was so impressed with that scene, but I think it was because it was in the middle of the movie. It seemed like a weird climax. Like the way it built up to that scene, them having a waterbed delivery service is so fucking random. Like I didn't expect waterbeds to come in as a major plot point.
But
of this movie.
like that was a thing, right? That was like the new hot thing. I remember it being a kid.
It's cool how they. I mean, it's just such a weird story. And this is like it was funny in the beginning. Bradley Cooper was hilarious. I thought them destroying his house was pretty damn funny.
Awesome.
It was really suspenseful when they saw him again. When they smashed his car, I think I yelled at my TV. I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, I know. And I loved the slow mo of the smile on him too when he looked backwards and he's just smashing it, and then it cut to her cutting out of gas, and it was like, "What?"
That whole sequence was like. Man. I think the thing that like. I don't know how similar it is, but that long ass scene in the middle of Parasite where they're entering the house and hiding underneath the table and stuff, where it's just one long linear sequence where it seems linear, where you feel like you're going,
in time with them,
right? And it's sprawling and it's suspenseful and funny, and it was awesome, comparable to Parasite.
You know what we should do, guys? When we get to the end of the list, we should make a movie.
What? Because we got to be good at it, right? We got to be good at it after watching all these movies.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So we should that should be our research. By the end of the list, we should write a script and make a movie.
And that's an excellent idea. I can't believe I never thought of that before.
Yeah,
I'm fully
that's what we're doing. All right, cool. We're going to do this.
John's not saying shit.
No, John is going to be in it. Don't worry. He'll be in it. We'll divvy up the task. We'll project manage. Don't worry.
Okay. I'll just sit back.
You'll just get to do stuff. You'll just have to do stuff. That's it.
Yeah. But John's trigger who just do stuff.
I didn't know Alana Haim was part of this band called Haim.
Oh yeah, that's her.
This band called. Did you just say this band called Haim? Like you've never heard of Haim before?
I've never heard of Haim.
What the fuck, dude?
I don't know if I had heard Haim either.
What?
I think I had heard the name, but not actually listened.
I'm an old man.
To them.
What?
Dude, they're huge. And they've been huge for a while.
Yeah. Oh wow.
I mean, I don't like that genre of music, and I've heard of them.
She's got charisma.
What's the genre? Is it?
I think it's like folky pop.
Folk pop?
Yeah.
I mean, they've won Grammys, right?
It's very pleasant music. It's not punk rock, or it's not for me.
It's not that angry, actually kill you, go to Worcester type of rock,
my daughter might really like it.
You should check it out.
Yeah. I mean, she just seems like a nice person, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I found her strangely attractive too, which was
she's very likable.
Yeah.
Her face is very, very strange.
It's very strange looking.
Yeah.
And it's very and it's just like she's just got a thing, you know what I mean? Like she's got an aura, an energy. I guess I've been in California too long. She has a good energy. She just makes me feel nice and calm. So when we do the movie, I'm going to do all the ADR with all different voices. That's going to be the joke. No, I'm just kidding.
That'll be a disaster.
Total disaster.
In reading up on this, Paul Thomas Anderson directed several of the band's music videos and did a short documentary on the making of Something to Tell You. I guess Paul PTA and her have been involved before this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, Paul Thomas Anderson does a lot of videos. He does like Tom York's. He did Joanna Newsom when they were together.
I thought you were making a joke when you said it was Philip Seymour Hoffman's son. I didn't know, but it was literally is him.
It is him.
Wow.
He was great. The kid, so they cast the Haim sister pretty early on. It was like written with her in mind, and they barely had to do any tryouts. Like they did some just to see if they were right, and they figured out they were right through tryouts. But they were trying for this lead character for a while, and her natural acting, like they had her locked in. They couldn't find an actor to like be as natural as her style was because they were all actors coming in. But Paul Thomas Anderson knew Philip Seymour Hoffman really well. Philip Seymour Hoffman had been in like half of his movies, maybe.
Oh wow!
He was in Heart 8. He was in Magnolia. He was in Boogie Nights. He was in The Master. That's 4 out of 9.
That must be kind of hard for him to like direct the son. I mean.
Probably.
But
what he did was, they couldn't find anybody in their friends, so he went to him with the script, and his name is Cooper or Copper? Copper? That's a dog's name. Cooper, probably his name. He just went to him and was like, "Hey, I know you're not looking for a role, but like I think you'd be perfect in this." And apparently he brought it up as a suggestion with all the Haim family, being like, "I think we could get this Cooper Seymour Hoffman."
I'm going with Copper.
What do you think?
I prefer Copper.
Copper.
Yeah,
written down somewhere.
C Seymour Hoffman. C Hoffman. How about that? We'll just go
Cooper.
It's
Cooper. Cooper still sounds like a dog's name.
Copper, how's it going, bud? Got a little script for you there, bud.
It makes sense.
That's how he talks.
They named him after his hair color. It's kind of copper. You know?
Oh, yeah, sure.
But anyway, they just approached him personally. He wasn't planning on having an acting career because he just wanted to be normal. And now he might. Who knows?
He might. I mean, dude, he was great.
He was amazing.
Yeah.
But who knows? I mean, they were being natural. So I think a part of this was like they were acting like themselves, which
like,
is
dude,
great
that's
for
most,
both.
I'm talking most actors. Look at them. Like, there's not that many that are like able to do all this different shit. Like, there's so many actors out there that just show up and be themselves. And like, look, Wahlberg. That guy don't act. He's just Wahlberg, right? Like,
yeah.
There's a lucrative way to make money just being yourself in Hollywood if you can land it. I mean, that kid was natural. If he gets up there and does another movie like this, it'll be smooth sailing for him.
Yeah, I agree.
For natural indie, like regular movie type stuff, right? I mean, I thought he was fantastic, and she was too. Really,
I was surprised
between the two of them,
acting awards.
Honestly. I am too, because the way that she could move her face in a way that was like perfect for whatever her emotion was supposed to be. Like she matched her facial expressions matched exactly what it should, but not in an unnatural way like she was trying to force it.
She did like real dramatic things that were also somehow funny, but fit the character perfectly. Like, that's pretty hard to do.
I thought it was, I mean, she did a fantastic job. He did a fantastic job. The directing, I only got a little bit annoyed with the movement of the camera.
I loved it.
No, once. I got it.
Only once. Okay.
There was only once. Yeah, there was one too many. It was just one too many. Like they had just used this trick, and it was like it felt like a one-trick pony because they didn't have the same reason why they were using it, and it was just like, oh, they used that same idea, but not for the same reason, and it was like
the
20 minutes
shots?
apart. No, it was just one of the ones where they were I think he was maybe walking around or something like that. And it was no reason to be using it. It was just following him, and they could have been doing that another way because they had saved that movement for them to, run and meet and all that. Yeah. And so like I had hoped they would use that technique very specifically for that storytelling part. But then I had seen it like one or two more times, and it was
no longer special for you.
It wasn't special. And it wasn't intentional. So I was like, it was one too many. But it was still like some of the stuff they did with those dolly moves. I mean, holy shit. I don't know how fast they were going, but it seemed like they were cruising. And like, I thought it was phenomenal. I really did. Everything about this movie was good. I didn't notice anything about the sound though. Honestly, I think any times that she beat the shit out of him or that he just like was being idiotic with his friends. I thought there was I just needed that change of pace, I think. And that's why some of those moments were my favorite because they were just so silly.
Yeah.
And there was so much just young, I don't give a fuck. I'm just having fun. Everything about this is great because I'm young. Even her too, 25 years old, right? Like I think, John, I'm feeling your pain. Like I'm just feeling old, So those moments from that movie just made me feel young again, and it like brought up all those. It brought up all those feelings. Like you get that tingling butterfly feeling when you see them in love, and then you get it was just fucking awesome. I think really my favorite parts were just the ones that made it seem light and like normal, and so it was cool. I really did like it, and I let go of the pedo thing.
Yeah.
Really.
You got it.
Yeah. Yeah, I let go. And you know what the worst part is? I used to be a portrait photographer. I had that job for 6 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it was not a good job. And so like when they were in the auditorium, I was like, oh my God, they still do it that way. I was like, I just did that like 10 years ago, like fuck. And my mom was like, I remember you doing that. I was like, hey, it was $25,000 for 6 months. It's good money when I was like 23. But fuck, dude. Yeah, so those were my favorite parts. I mean, honestly, I don't think I had any that were like, that I didn't really find that part with Sean Penn very interesting, but I realized it was just there to like solidify their relationship by her falling off the motorcycle.
I thought she was going to get hurt in that motorcycle thing.
Yeah, me too.
It could be bad.
Me too. I thought that was not good, but the Tom Waits and Sean Penn interactions were pretty funny.
Yeah.
Tom Waits, I don't know how he's still alive, smoking all that cigarettes and drinking all that whiskey.
It's all an act, man. He just puts on the voice.
You think?
He's admitted to it before. I really don't know. Yeah. He says it's all an act. Like that whole persona is just an act. And now
on his records are, but I think his voice is like just smoker
in his movies.
Over
his
years.
Acting, like I've seen a lot of his movies. He was in like the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, and he was in Seven Psychopaths. He has like an acting career now, and he always plays that like weird, unmoving, gravelly. Like the voice is the exact same. His facial expressions are pretty much the same. But it's good because it's like no one else can do it like that.
No one else does it. Yeah. Yeah. When I heard Jack and I was like, oh boy, that's Tom. There he is. Can't mistake that. Right. Yeah. I thought, I'm going to watch this again soon. Like probably with someone else that I'm like, no, you got to see this movie. Let's watch it. You know,
this will be, I'm planning on next time I watch this to put it on the outdoor projector. I feel like that will be a good place for it.
Yeah. And
there's a lot of magic hour shots in this movie, all of which, those always look good.
And for people at home, if you have a significant other, it's a good movie to watch with your significant. I just think it's like this nice little love story that brings people together. And, you just start to think about all the things you'd have with the other person. And it was good,
Naomi had a harder time getting over the pedophile thing.
Oh, well, then, some people can't be helped. But, I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know either. I think
audience, if you've got those people, don't bother.
It's a roll of the dice, though, because I am bothered by that a lot of the time.
I'm not.
I think I would say every other time, except for this movie, probably would be.
I think that it's never the same way when it's a woman being the older person. So, I've gotten over that a long time ago. Because you remember all those things. Like this shit happens more than people talk about. He's bigger than her, right? Like he can defend himself against her. Like there's that whole aspect of it sort of thing. Well, and I think mentally they were at the same level. I think mentally they were the same age.
Because not that we're condoning anything like this, right? You got to say that. Because
no, I'm not condoning it. I'm just saying I haven't got over it because of there's so many worse situations out there. And this was a nice, innocent love story with two people that ended up really clicking together and working together. So I don't know what to make of it, Fuck.
It was John, do you have a favorite part, or do you? What's your?
John's.
You're being very quiet. I know
John's medicated.
It's okay. I'm tired. As usual. No, I don't really necessarily. I thought again they're just weird scenes. The scenes with Sean Penn and Tom Waits are fantastic. I thought, and Bradley Cooper I like too. I mean, they're just sort of, it's all very surreal almost the way people are coming in and out of the film and they just sort of shift and do different things. So I wasn't taken with the whole thing the way you guys are, which is great. I mean, I'm glad for you guys, but I just really was.
You were high. You admitted that. You got to watch it again.
I was just drugged.
You got to
wait a while until you forget most of it and then watch it again.
Maybe.
In the morning. Yeah. In the morning.
But it just seemed random. And they're like, so Bradley Cooper's being a jerk to them. So they're just going to
fuck him over.
Let the hose out of the waterbed and take off. This is how you run a business.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't give a shit. He's got money.
Down.
Yeah, and he doesn't even care.
That was the last delivery.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was the last delivery anyway.
Because the waterbeds were going out of fashion or something like that. So they were like,
because they weren't.
The oil.
Yeah, no, well, that too. Yeah. And the fact that, they weren't good for your back at all. Right? They were terrible for your body. Not supposed to sleep on water. So, yeah, go ahead, John. Keep going.
Yeah, that's all I got. I don't have a ton.
I loved. Oh, yeah.
I don't want to talk about it.
Well, it's hard to remember. I think somewhere I sort of woke up as the Tom Waits and Sean Penn characters were there. So I think that's when I drifted back in. So
he went out at Act 2.
Yeah, maybe so. I'm trying to. I don't know.
Yeah. He doesn't even know that he watched the movie.
But I know I saw.
Did you see any of the pinball stuff?
It happened to me.
I saw him enter into the pinball stuff, and when he decided to do that, and that was kind of funny.
That's towards the end.
Yeah. So I saw that.
Did you see any of the politician stuff towards the end?
When he's doing I saw that. I think where I sort of lost was they were doing the when they were headed to New York, and then I sort of I think I missed the awkward dinner scene or the breakup.
That was much earlier.
Yeah, you didn't see most of the movie.
That's right.
You didn't see most of the movie. You should watch it again.
But I got to where the gas crisis stuff was happening, and so I think it was.
You missed the middle.
You missed all the good stuff.
Yeah, I guess so.
You watched 10 minutes, fell asleep, woke up an hour and a half in, and watched the rest of it.
And watched the rest of it. Yep. No wonder why you didn't take to it.
Do it again, John.
Maybe.
Yeah, try it again and let us know. And watch it with Nikki. Unless she gets really, offended by those things too, and in which case don't bother.
I mean, it's a different scenario, and it's also a period piece. So again, they just sort of, you can make those excuses depending upon who you are.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah. My favorite thing that fucking Bradley Cooper said was, "Oh, look at you, cocky." I like it.
Funny.
I like it. That was the best.
Bradley Cooper
that was the best.
I don't know.
And then he basically threatened his life after that. Like, okay, kid, you're cocky, but guess what? I'm going to kill your fucking brother. Like, I thought that was fucking awesome. I thought it was awesome.
Here's a question. So that guy is based on a real guy.
Is he?
Yeah. And he was actually married to Barbara Streisand.
Streisand.
Is there no D in her name?
I thought it was really funny when he like turned back and looked at her and she was giggling and shit, like, because he's just being a fucking asshole to this guy. But who is he? So what's his deal?
So there's so many people in this movie. There's 211 people on the freaking cast list. It's a lot of people. John Peters is the guy's name, and it's a real name, and he got permission to use this guy's name because this is like all this stuff was kind of the John Peters stuff. He said he created a monster version of John Peters, but the real thing was that his friend, the Gary guy, who he was friends with the waterbed thing, actually delivered to this guy John Peters at some point in time back in the 70s.
Wow.
So John Peters said that Paul Thomas Anderson could use his likeness and name in the movie if they included his favorite pickup line, but it didn't say what pickup line it was. I don't remember his pickup line because he was kind of hitting on the Haim girl in that scene, but I don't remember the pickup line and what that might be. I don't know if either of you.
No, I don't.
No one's
actually.
Asleep.
No, I don't.
That's right.
Yeah,
sitting there's like he's not asking me.
Like
he's asking TC.
I know.
That's
He's not.
right.
Yeah, right. Yeah. John's asleep right now.
He is.
Yeah,
Poor guy. You need to
Eyes
go to
open,
bed.
brain dead.
Yeah. Poor guy. Had a long day.
That's my life.
Yeah.
So safe to assume no book corner this week. I'm not sure what you would have
Yeah, what book would I have?
Right.
It's
Exactly.
a
no
70s retrospective that I have no time to do. So.
I got some trivia though. You guys,
What do you got?
You guys want to do some trivia? You got anything else,
Yeah,
TC?
yeah, yeah.
You can sprinkle in some more thoughts if you want.
No, I mean, there wasn't anything sound related that I picked up on. I pretty much said my
Except
piece.
for, how about the mixing of the music?
I thought I didn't notice the music as much, except for one scene where the elevator music just kept going when he got arrested. That was a strange music to just keep going. I don't know if it was like, I was very like, just kind of like, why are they still playing this? That was from the last scene, and now they're in a new scene, and it's like they're in a different place.
They did that. Every
no,
time
I know,
they
but
did
I didn't understand it, and then the song was strange, but it sounded cool, and it sounded really cool, like the song. And then I started listening to the song, and I was like, oh shit, back to the movie. So I got kind of taken out of it at that point for some reason, but and that's really the only spot that I noticed it.
They played like whole songs in this movie,
and they had really good old 70s
really
songs.
Good songs. Like I don't even know what song it was, but I love Bowie, but I think the song, like they played a whole Bowie song
Life on
in there.
Mars?
Life on Mars. It's a great song. Yeah.
Yeah.
They played like a whole Doors song, great Doors song too. Like not the ones you would normally pick. Like usually you have, 80s Bowie in movies and stuff, but yeah, Life on Mars.
Yeah, no, it's great. But that's it.
But there was a song, and I don't know who it was. It was the scene where he was selling the waterbeds and got arrested and came out. Like there was a song going on that entire scene, and that was great because it made the whole scene cohesive.
Yeah.
But anyway, trivia time. It's budget. You guys want to do a guessing game? What do you think the budget of this movie was?
I'd say maybe 20 million.
50, 60.
40. Only 32 box office so far. Who knows if it's still making money in the box office?
They didn't pay their stars much.
They didn't have to. They're not stars.
Just to be in a PTA movie.
They're not stars.
What?
Right?
Sean Penn? Tom Waits?
Well,
Bradley
they didn't,
Cooper?
but they weren't main characters.
Plus Bradley Cooper's been
they don't have to
begging
pay them
to be
like that.
in a Paul Thomas Anderson movie for a decade, apparently.
Oh, really?
So he's probably cheap as fuck.
Oh, yeah. I don't think they had to pay those two. I meant the two. Right? Those are the stars. The rest of them are just actors in the movie, but
yeah,
they're not the feature.
Yeah,
actors.
that's true.
Yeah, so they don't have to pay them that way. Yeah, and I mean, it sounds like this guy does such good movies too. Like, I'm sure people are ecstatic to even be considered as part of the process.
The modern day Kubrick, almost. Writer, director.
Sean Penn, is he going to fucking smelt all his stuff or what? He better get smelted.
Right.
Fucking weirdo.
So the scene with Bradley Cooper in it, the Haim and the Hoffman characters, the actors, didn't know that Bradley Cooper was in this movie. So I don't know how they set it up, but during the first take, is there actual reaction of Bradley Cooper coming on set and being in character and being the crazy famous guy? So they surprised him in that way. That's fun.
Yeah.
They shot this movie on 35 millimeter and used older lenses and did not, so per Paul Thomas Anderson's direction, did not allow the post-production finishing to be done digitally. They did it photochemically is what it's called.
Yeah,
like old
photochem.
School. So it didn't go digital at all because they wanted just like everything about it to be as 70s as possible.
They didn't go digital, meaning they edited it digitally and then put the edits back to the film so that they could. Because when you do like when it's photochem,
I assume they're not chopping film up, right? I assume that.
Yeah, so they digitize the film, right, and then they do their edits. Then they have an EDL, and then they probably match that back up with the film and do all the editing.
They said there was specifically the finishing. So is that like mastering?
Yeah, so it's the finishing. So the editing's all done digitally, right? Because they just make it all digital, then they edit, and then they go back to the film to finalize the edit in the film, and then they finish it as a actual like piece of film, right? I think that's how I have it. I could be incorrect.
Here's a quote. Per Paul Thomas Anderson's wishes, the movie was finished entirely photochemically instead of going through a digital intermediate. The blow-up for the 70mm prints was also done photochemically, and the digital and home video releases were created by digitally scanning and grading a photochemically timed interpositive, bypassing any digital intermediate stage.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means either.
I'm going to take that back.
Yeah,
we're going to have to look that in because it might be in our film. We'll have to find that out.
Yeah, we're going to have to figure out what those words mean. We're going to stick them in our film.
Well, no, we don't because we're not film.
That's right.
I thought it looked great. We don't need to know film.
John,
we're going to shoot on a red.
Nope.
Or an Alexa.
That's not film. I don't think DC's film, but I'm not sure about that one.
So that seems like a lot of extra work. That's a lot of budget too.
It's a lot of budget right there. Yeah, it's probably a decent chunk.
Plus, it makes it difficult to shoot because you don't get dailies, right? Like your dailies aren't. It takes 2 days to process your dailies. So as you shoot, and then the next day you don't really know what you did yesterday, and then you get your fucking dailies, and then you're like, fuck, we fucked that up. What are we gonna do now? Too late. We're on the third day. So I mean, I don't know. That's pretty. Guy's a stud.
Yeah,
the guy's a fucking stud.
Can you guess? There's one shot that is the most expensive shot in the movie by far, and they had to kind of center the budget around this shot because he really wanted this one shot.
What was okay?
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't have guessed if that helps you. Like, I don't know if you'd be able to guess. It was when I read it, I was like, oh, that was a really good shot, but I wouldn't have like had it as a standout, like super expensive shot.
Nope.
This is one of the dollies.
It's one of the crane shots where Bradley Cooper's pulling into the Super 76, and there's like you can see like a whole long shot of the street, and like this like gas station is all recreated to be old looking, and there's a bunch of old cars and shit like that. Apparently, it's very expensive. Yeah, that's it. Not even on the main characters. I don't know why he thought it was. Shot? Yeah, I don't know. But he did.
He must have just liked the idea.
Don't question him. TC is a fucking genius, man.
No. I mean, hey, just because you have the idea too, it doesn't mean it ends up just like you needed it.
Right.
So, like, could have been a great idea and then just didn't turn out. I mean,
I remember it looking pretty good, but yeah.
I don't remember it being memorable because I don't really, I don't really remember it. So
shoved in the middle of a bunch of other really good looking shots.
I mean, true. So that's interesting. Yeah. We're going to find out about the photochem thing and update the listeners.
That's right.
I'll update them later.
They can't wait to learn about photochemically produced intermediaries.
Okay. Yeah, sure. I'm sure you guys' film is going to be great.
It's just going to be blotted.
It's going to be technically
We're
proficient.
Ruin all of the film because we don't know how to do like chemical shit.
We're not using film. We're using digital, baby.
So this is an MGM produced movie. We were just talking about how MGM is very recently bought by Amazon. So they're now owned by Amazon. This is the first MGM movie to be nominated for Best Picture since 1988.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And that 1988 movie won it, and it was Rain Man. But there hasn't been an MGM movie since.
Rain Man.
Which is weird because, I don't know, if you asked me like top 5 movie studios, MGM I think would still be one of them, right? You got like Universal, MGM, Paramount.
I think at this point in time, MGM sort of lost its stature as far as the best, but obviously it's not true. I think that people in Hollywood go on kicks. Same thing with studios, right? Have a good bunch of runs and then they get quiet, and that doesn't mean they're better or worse. I don't know what we'll see what happens with Amazon. I mean, see if it's
Speaking of runs, guys, A24 continues to be what looks like the best movie production studio in existence. Have you seen trailers for that Everything Everywhere All at Once?
No.
You haven't heard of that? I'll send you a link.
Okay.
I'm going to go see it this Saturday. It's opening this weekend. It looks fucking awesome. It has the woman from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, the lead character there, and it looks weird as hell, and it's getting really good reviews. So it can't be bad. It looks really good. And then they A24 also just released. There's a movie coming out, X. I think it might be out. Have you seen You guys probably don't follow trailers as much.
I've vaguely heard of X. X sounds familiar, though.
It looks like a throwback kind of schlocky 70s horror movie.
Mm-hmm. What about that one with Bjork in it? And
that's the Norseman.
Yeah,
she's
Norseman
Bjork's in a movie?
Yeah. First time since Dancer in the Dark she's going to be in a movie.
She needs that cash over.
That one sounds really interesting.
The Norseman was the guy who did The Witch and then The Lighthouse.
Right,
this is his third movie.
Right.
So I'm excited about that one. I don't think that one's A24 because I think it's a big studio one for that one. But A24 did The Witch and The Lighthouse. But there's also one that trailer came out, Marcel, the Shell with Shoes On. John, that's something you should look up. It looks kind of like a kid's movie, but it looks like would be good for adults too.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, that's all I got for the movie. Hey, Pat.
Hey, Licorice Pizza.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Timmy.
Hey,
long time no here.
I know how to hit on it too, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's right. I can see Timmy.
How you doing? How you doing? How you doing?
You know? 15-year-old.
All right. Hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing, man? What's going on?
Oh, Timmy sounded like that when he was 15?
No, how's it going? Yeah.
Nice, Timmy. Before his voice dropped. Yeah, that's like.
No wonder he's got no friends from that era.
That's right. That's right. No wonder why he doesn't have a girlfriend. Oh, wait. Yeah. So, Timmy's around there somewhere. He didn't go to school. We know that. That's why he's doing. That's why he's doing plastering. Yeah.
John, I'm pointing at you. This counts as your punt. You're lucky because we're restarting the punt sometime soon because we're at number 52 next week, but this is a punt. You got to watch this movie, John.
You're right. It counts as a punt.
And you had 2 weeks to watch it, John. No excuse.
It's all good. You're going to watch it and like it. You watch.
Yeah.
I was sick as a dog last week, and then I got drugged up this week. So.
And now you're going to bed.
What's going to happen next week?
Hey, at least now you're going to bed, bud. It's time to wrap it up.
Time to go to bed.
So right. I'm gonna ask TC top 250.
Oh yeah.
100%. I don't even want to ask John because he's gonna say no. He's gonna
defer.
Okay, there we go.
He's gonna defer.
We'll check back in about 6 months.
Yeah.
See if you see it again.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
I'll send you when they release it on physical and the rentals get cheaper than they are. I'll send you.
And try it again.
Yeah. All right.
We're back to the list next week, guys.
Oh, what are we doing now?
What do we got?
We have what year is this movie made? I'm not going to tell TC.
When are we watching Worst Person in the World? I want to watch that one.
Is that rentable yet?
Oh, shit. We know how old it is. That's 1955.
I think Worst Person in the World.
You're not that lucky, TC. You're not that lucky.
1946.
Oh, a little better than that.
1948.
1950.
Oh. Well. Ain't that a bitch? Hey, John, don't worry. I might be punting next week.
That's fair. No,
it's on Apple TV.
We can rent it on Apple TV.
Oh, cool. All right. Well, I got it.
Do we want to let's do that as the next bonus.
What the hell is it called?
Because we're going back and forth.
The Worst Person in the World.
So how about we do that as the next bonus, John, since we're bouncing back and forth? What do you say?
Yeah. Let's do that.
So we'll do that one after this next one. But this next one.
To 1950.
1950. Billy Wilder.
Barry Wilder. Okay.
Sunset Boulevard.
Okay. All right. Barry Wilder.
I know nothing about this. I'm not going to read the synopsis.
I'm going in
Billy
blind.
Wilder.
Just go in blind.
I think Billy has been, I don't know, in terms of, he's been good,
Hollywood.
Right?
Yeah.
To us?
We like some of his stuff.
I don't even know.
Some like it hot. TC, we like that one.
Yeah.
That was him. So that was old too, so we'll see.
All right. Well, let's go. I'm going in blind. I'm not going to watch anything. I'm just going to go and I'm going to hit play.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, boys.
All right.
Sounds good.
Talk to you guys next week.
Next week.
All right.
Bye.